Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Your Set Pageant podcast series. Today, I'm joined by Isabelle Kratz, the reigning Miss Galaxy Oceania. From her success on the international Galaxy stage to her powerful advocacy, Isabelle is using her platform to raise awareness for endometriosis, pelvic pain, and body confidence while inspiring women around the world. Isabelle, welcome to Your Set.
Thank you so much for having me, Kat.
I'm so excited to chat to you more. I know we've met in person at Miss Grand Australia, but yeah, you're so inspiring, so I can't wait to hear more.
Thank
So I'll just launch into things. So congratulations on winning the title. What was going through your mind when they announced your name?
you. So I was previously Miss Teen Galaxy Australia, and I won that in May of last year. And it's something that I have been in pageantry for the last 8 years and was constantly working towards this goal in small little steps. And I'd actually entered AGP for 3 years beforehand, but so much was going in my life at the in that moment that I couldn't fully commit. And I wanted to be able to fully commit when I wanted to win the title. So I went for the first year and got second runner up. I got top three. And then I came back 10 times stronger, not only as a pageant competitor, but as a woman in myself as well, and really sure of who I was. And I ended up winning the title. And that was like, you could tell by my reaction on stage that I was completely shocked, but I know that I'd worked so hard for it. And I think it was this big, like, it was all these mix of emotions, relief, excitement. I couldn't, like shock. There was so many things running through my mind. But it was a milestone for me that I'll never forget and something that did lead me to the international stage. So I went to Florida last year to the Galaxy International Pageant and won first runner up. And that's how I got my Galaxy Oceania, Miss Galaxy Oceania title. But when you win first runner up, basically you get the opportunity to re-go back and compete straight away the next year. So you don't have to do like any preliminaries like in Australia, nationals anymore. You're basically straight back through to internationals. So the last year, I literally walked off stage at internationals and I said, I am going back. You don't have to accept your place. You don't have to accept the title, but I knew that this was my dream and something that I'd been working towards for so long that I was like, I would be so silly to go back, to not go back. Um, and I took it with both hands, but I also made a big decision stepping from the teen division into the Miss division. And so, as a 20-year-old now, I will be stepping onto the international stage in the Miss division for the first time. I've never competed in Australia in the Miss division, so it's a huge, I guess, opportunity, but also something that I've really worked hard to prep for because it is something that isn't probably very common. So I'm really excited to step into this role. And yeah, I am like so excited for internationals, but there was so much going through my mind because there's been so many moments that's kind of led me to this title as well.
Wow, how wonderful. That's so interesting to hear about that system and how it kind of works. And I agree with you. It was what was going through my mind too when I won. It's this instant relief, but then excitement mixed with a feeling of, yeah, pressure and pride and all these things. And I mean, you've been there before, you know what it's like. And now bringing another package to the stage where you feel more confident and, yeah, you know what it is and you know what you bring. So that's so exciting to hear that you get to go back and, yeah,
Yeah.
represent. I can't wait to see you do it.
Thank you.
So, for those meeting you for the first time, can you tell us a little bit about yourself beyond the crown?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my life is full, and that's because I've made it and built it that way because I totally believe that you only have one chance on this earth, so you have to make the most of it. So, I'm a two-time international business owner. Since the age of 14 years old, I built these businesses from the ground up with, just this passion to want to be an entrepreneur like the rest of my family. And I'm so grateful to have so much support still now. So I own Belle Le Chic and Belle Model Co. So Belle Le Chic is my international fashion brand. We have two kind of sectors where we are a fashion boutique and a fashion house online, and we do have a physical store on the Sunshine Coast where I'm from. And we also have our events and experiences sector. So we give girls, Australian women and also international women, the opportunity to experience Fashion Week. So we showcase my designs, Belle Le Chic, the label, at New York, London, Milan, and Paris Fashion Week. And we've been doing that for the last 4 years. But what we also do is we found this gap in the market of I actually went and not competed, sorry. I walked in New York Fashion Week for the first time at 13 years old for six designers. And that kind of like kickstarted my career. There was so many opportunities that came out of that. And it was truly an overwhelming but incredible experience. And I kind of went out of that and I had so many things that were kind of going to be put in place after. And then I came home and 2 weeks later, COVID hit, and that was it. That was everything gone. There was, plans of moving internationally and so much that
Mhm.
was going on, and it kind of all got crumbled. And I just learned all this knowledge, and I was so excited to, progress as such a young adult in my career at such a young age. And I felt like everything kind of just went to a halt. And it was really disappointing. But I
Mhm.
think one of the biggest lessons that I've learned out of life is that what's meant for you will find you because it's already written in your path. So that was meant to happen because if that didn't happen, I never would have built my business. During COVID, I was 14, I was wanting to earn my own money, work, and I went to all these job interviews and they said, "So when can you work?" And I said, "Well, Thursday from 5:45 p.m. to 6 p.m." Because I literally had no time on my hands with living this full life that I did, but I wanted to do something that felt like work and like a job. And so my mom had her own business in website and branding. And she was like, well, let me be, you can be my case study. Like, let's build you your own brand. And that's exactly what we did. And now she doesn't really run that business anymore because we do it together because it's absolutely taken over everything. And we never kind of projected it to be as big as it's grown into. And it grew really quickly. So within the first year, my mum and I were designing our own collections. And then when we were designing our own collections, we reached a production company in New York that I worked for, reached out and said, we want you to bring your designs and Australian models over. And we were like, oh my God,
Wow.
it
What
was
a wonderful
crazy.
opportunity to just have exposure. I mean, even through pageantry, this is what I love so much about pageantry and the connections you can make with women because just your story alone from such a young age, it's so inspiring to hear that yeah, you came from a family that was very much business orientated and you used COVID, although it was a tough time for many people and it did affect you at a young age. It's so lovely to hear that you used that opportunity and built this business for yourself. And I mean, I love the business. I'm so excited that you guys are sponsors for my journey as Miss Grand Australia. But yeah, I mean, it's beautiful to see what you can do, especially when working with family. I'm very much I love working with my mum. I work with my family businesses too, and I always feel like that gives you a brilliant backing as well. And yeah, you can learn from that. But how amazing that you could travel so globally and with New York and things like that. And I can't wait to see how you can, yeah, bring that experience and that business side of yourself to pageantry as well. And I think that's what an all-rounded queen is. It's someone that's a businesswoman and a brand to herself. So lovely to
Yeah,
hear about that.
thank you. Yes, no, it's been an amazing journey, one that I've worked really hard for since such a young age. And I think
Mm.
because of my family, like you said, I learned what work ethic was and time management skills and lots of things that, the average 14-year-old wouldn't learn at such a young
Mm.
age. And I think that's really helped me progress as a human being in my career, in pageantry, in university. There's so many things that I've been able to apply those life skills to as well.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, even budgeting, I always laugh about that with pageants, but it's a huge part of it. And financing yourself and figuring out and scheduling. It's all the same. Like I had to learn that through my work and things that I did like on film sets and stuff like that. But yeah, it's interesting to have the business side. And I mean, you'd also understand what goes behind backstage as well, because I've been a creative director at fashion shows myself around Australia and things like that. And you really realize that organizations are putting in a lot of their own work, their own money, their own time into these things. And you really come to appreciate it when you're on the other side modeling as well. So that's wonderful to hear. My next question was actually going to be saying that Belle Le Chic is a sponsor of Miss Grand Australia. Can you tell me a bit more about your involvement and how this came about?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we actually just saw Charlotte and Sophia post that they were looking for sponsors, and Bella Chic is one of the major sponsors for most Australian pageant systems, and that's something that is really close to my heart. That pageant competitors all over Australia trust us with their wardrobe, and that's because I've been there firsthand, a pageant competitor,
Mhm.
knowing that like I don't know where to get my things, like where should I shop? And that's really how Bella Chic kind of started, is that I found the gap in the market that I was looking for. And I wanted to bring it to the Australian community because pageantry actually is, I wouldn't say it's big here, but I think it's bigger than the average. I realize that
Mhm.
there is this whole community of women that want to strive for more in life, but also in their goals. So, yes, Miss Grand Australia Bella Chic is now the official outfit and styling partner for. And we literally just reached out and took the leap of faith. And I think that's something that I've learnt so much, is that
Mhm.
don't ask, you won't receive. So you have to put yourself out there. And yeah, we kind of just went back and forth and realized all these things that Bella Chic could be involved with. And yeah, we're so excited. We were just on the Miss Grand Australia stage that Kat did just win, and we sponsored the opening number looks, and also the winner's photo shoot the next day. So we absolutely can't wait to also be a part of your international journey as well.
I was just so excited when I found out you guys were going to be involved. Even in the process before I reached out and you were helping me style for my interview and different outfits, but you have such an incredible range, and I think it's lovely coming from a woman that's in pageantry herself because you understand what girls are looking for. Pageantry can be a bit difficult because we're kind of on the lookout for wearable art pieces that really stand out. And I remember hearing that you guys were going to do the winners shoot as well after I won, and I was so excited because that's also a stress, is like how many dresses can you bring over when you're traveling. I'm from Western Australia, and you guys just had the most incredible gowns. They're still getting comments online about them, especially that purple one you chose. So yeah, it's wonderful to support women, and our opening numbers, we were all the same. It looked so beautiful on stage. And I think just the quality of the pieces you have at your shop is also what makes you stand out. So yeah, thank you so much for your support, and I can't wait to still work with you and watch what you wear on your journey as well. So, yeah, because we said, what did you love and kind of what drew you into the pageantry? But just touching on a bit as well about Sophia and Charlotte, because you mentioned them, but how's your involvement with them been? And yeah, and is that relationship like, what have you learned from them as well during this?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've actually attended Miss Grand Australia as just a spectator in the audience for quite a number of years. And I think what Sophia and Charlotte bring to the table as directors is like their warmth and their presence. And you can just feel like when you're in a room with them or when you're speaking to them, they actually do have that genuine care for everybody. And they have this really like personable relationship that they want to get to know every single, obviously delegate, but also their queens, but also, just a regular person in the audience in the room, because they still appreciate people's support from no matter where it comes from. And I think that's what I've learned from them, is that, there's so much in this world that we can just be simply kind, and they have so much going on throughout pageant week, which I do understand from being, behind the scenes, as you said as well. But if you're walking past or you say hello to them, they will genuinely give you the same kind of care and attention, no matter what they might have going on in their brains or behind the scenes as well.
That's something I love about them too. It's just the time they put into people. And yeah, it's exactly what you said. Even if you're not a part of their, pageant that year, they still care and they want to have that interaction with you. And it's real big sister energy. And that's what I love about the pageants that they set up and these systems that we're involved in is the female empowerment and it really gave me hope and it showed me that women can support other women and actually be there for each other. So I love that. And I love that that was your experience as well. So moving back on to you, because you've got so many amazing things that you do, your platform for every beautiful body, what inspired you to create this?
Mm. So, For Every Beautiful Body is an online accessible website platform. So, platforms in pageantry are quite common, but I wanted to build something that was a little bit out of the box, but accessible in a different way. So, genuinely, you just need the internet, and it's basically an online hub for anything endometriosis and pelvic pain awareness, bullying, body image, and mental health. And that seems like a lot of different things and a lot of different factors, and how do they move in with each other? But everything that I advocate for comes from my own story. So I was bullied from the ages of 13 to 15 years old in high school, physically, emotionally, and mentally. And it did get to the point where I did have to move to homeschooling. And then eventually it wasn't super safe for me to live in my small hometown anymore. So we did end up moving to the Sunshine Coast. So it was quite a full on time in my life that I basically spent 10 months confined to the walls of my bedroom because it wasn't actually safe for me to leave my home. And that is something that no girl, woman should ever go through. But unfortunately, it's the reality for so many people that we don't talk about enough. And so, naturally, with being bullied, my mental health took a decline, and as well as my body image because of what some people were saying to me. And for a long time, I chose to listen to the outside noise and I chose to believe what they were saying about me and what they kind of physically did to me as well. And so it was a really hard time, but I just one day, it was my birthday, it was my last day of high school in person. And I actually had quite a sharp kind of object, I guess, thrown at me when I walked out of the bathroom. And it really put me in danger that I had to realize that I literally couldn't put up with this anymore. And it was so unfortunate that the school didn't do anything about it. But I was living in a really small town at the time. And in Australia, we call it tall poppy syndrome. And it's really something that was quite true and something that I didn't realize until later. So I came out to the light at the end of the tunnel and I kind of moved to this new town and I went straight back to school because I was craving human connection again. But that was something that really took a lot for me to be courageous and want to go back to a school environment. And I literally have the best friends now that I met on the first day of high school, and I still, 5 years later, like literally see them all the time. So there is your people out there. Sometimes you just have to go looking a little bit harder for them. But that's what pageantry gave me as well, was
Mm.
a community and a support network of women that might not be around the corner or around the street from my house, but that will be in my inbox every day reminding me how amazing that I am. And that's something that, is invaluable to me. But it led me to create my platform for every beautiful body, which is a motto that I live by in my business, but also that I live by in my life, that everybody is imperfectly perfect in their own way and kind of sharing heart stories. So we have guests that we bring on with in our heart stories that have lived experience in the bullying, body image, mental health field. But then we also have our YouTube series, which is for lived experience, but also professionals to speak about their experience with those sectors, but also how giving people real strategies and tools on how to help themselves as well and make sure that they don't feel alone. And then, so that's
What
our
an
platform.
incredible,
Yeah,
yeah,
thank you.
incredible work you're doing.
Yeah, so it's that's my platform in a snapshot that I actually created. I only created it last year, and that's when I first started sharing my story because I was always, I guess, a little bit ashamed or embarrassed maybe that how people would view me because I had been this different person from the outside that if people really knew what I had gone through, would they still think of me the same? And I can confidently say that they don't. But that's not a bad thing. I think it really shows that people can be raw and authentic and, be proud of who they are today, even from the experiences that they've come from. And so my platform hit 500,000 views in October of last year. So in 6 months. And that
Wow.
was a huge achievement for me because it was not only the number of 500,000 people, but that's so many more conversations with that one person that's viewed from each of those numbers to create within their family and their circle. And then I wanted to bring in, I'd been diagnosed with endometriosis at 14 years old after getting my first period at 9. And so I was very young and very vulnerable that a 9-year-old doesn't really typically even know what a period is. And I was in
No,
grade
it's a
four.
lot to go through there.
It
Yeah.
was a lot to unpack at such a young age and nobody around me going through it or understanding it either. And so I, for the last decade, have been in crippling pain every single day. Um, and it's something that I really want to bring awareness and advocacy to because we don't talk about it enough. It's something that we are starting to talk about a little bit more in the
Mhm.
last year, I would say. And that's because 1 in 7 Australian women have endometriosis. It's a really high
I
statistic.
always say that, like, it's amazing to me that half the world's population goes through these things, and it's exactly what you said, a high number are suffering from it as well. And everyone just doesn't really talk about it, and it's a bit hush hush. So I'm really glad that we have women like yourself that are opening up these platforms and being a voice for that. Firstly, I do want to say thank you so much for opening up. I know you've shared this online already, but just for me to hear that story from you as well. And I mean, we didn't know each other that well before this, and for me, you come across and you are such a confident, young, beautiful woman. And I think it's exactly right. In Australia, we do suffer from that tall poppy syndrome where people don't want to stand out just in case. And especially at the young age you were when you were having such success internationally as well, it can be, and I can say it, even though you probably don't want to, but it does stem from jealousy usually. And it's so, yeah, it's shocking to hear that's how you were treated. And I'm sorry about that. And no one should ever go through that. But the fact that it's led you here and now you're supporting younger people and young girls in particular going through these things and that you're hitting so many different categories of this. I think it's such a multifaceted project. And yeah, I can't wait to see you take it even further and globally and be able to speak on this on the international stage. So thank you for sharing that.
No, thank you. Thank you for creating a safe space for me to do it.
No, of course, of course. So, as a youth advisor for endometriosis conditions in Australia, what changes would you love to see happen in women's healthcare and awareness? Because you were speaking about that we just don't have the awareness. So, what
Mm.
can we do and what would you like to do?
Yeah, absolutely. So, when I introduced endometriosis and pelvic pain awareness into my platform earlier this year, we hit 1.1 million views from 500,000 to 1.1 million. And that is like more than double of what we did in 6 months. And so I have come on as one of the only youth advisors in Australia for the Endometriosis Coalition. And so what we do is we bring awareness, but we also bring the real funding that is behind the research and the women's health centres around Australia. Um, so it's something that I am so passionate about that I am creating advocacy and awareness in my platform but as an ambassador and as somebody that gets to speak on these issues as well in a room full of amazing, incredible people that are actually change makers, bringing forward something that actually has the funding behind it to put into action. So, I don't know if you know, but in the federal budget, this in 2026 and 2027 federal budget, there was no funding put towards endometriosis. $0.
Okay. Wow.
For something that we are starting to talk about a little bit more, and something that's becoming so crucial that women can only get diagnosed with endometriosis officially with a surgery, still to this day in 2026, is something that needs to change. But also, the main thing that I am wanting to advocate for as a youth advisor is bringing more dedicated women's health centres to regional places around Australia. So on the Sunshine Coast, I wouldn't consider us, we are still considered regional, but we are quite a big place. And we
Mhm.
do not have a women's health centre anywhere on the coastline. And so I'm a volunteer with Magnolia Health here on the Sunshine Coast as well, which is a charity, a non for profit for endometriosis, adenomyosis, pelvic pain, and PCOS. And we hold events all around the coast with all different kind of price points and sectors to bring this funding into a women's health center. So I kind of have, two different avenues that I'm really passionate about getting the funding behind it, because we can create awareness and we can start speaking about it more. But if we don't have an action in place to change something, then we're never going to get as far as we want to go.
Yes, I love what you said just there because you can raise awareness, and that's often what happens with pageantry is people create these platforms, and it's so wonderful to build awareness. But I love that you have actionable things that you're doing towards this, and you can see the impacts you're having in person, even around the coast that you're traveling. So that's so incredible to hear, and I can't wait to follow that more and be involved somehow as well. I love, yeah, youth empowerment, and in particular for women and young girls. And I think the work you're doing is so inspiring. So thank you for sharing that. So looking back on your reign so far, what's been your proudest moment?
Mm. So I was actually only recrowned in May of this year. So I had to hand over my Miss Teen Galaxy Australia title to be recrowned purely because I was stepping into a different division. And in the last 3 months, I have not stopped. I have worked so hard, but there's been so many things that I could come back to. But I recently just went to Bali and I got back. I think it was almost 2 weeks ago now. Time just flies by. I can't keep track. But I went to Bali and went on a tour with the Bali Children Foundation, which I am proud to be in talks to be an ambassador for them as a youth ambassador in Australia. Their office is in Melbourne, but their main Australian office is in Melbourne, but basically what they provide is educational programs from, they don't call it primary and high school, but for the purpose of being in Australia, like primary school, high school, university programs in underprivileged communities in Bali. So in the poorer communities where they don't have access to educational facilities. And so they want to potentially bring me on to go over into their programs and go throughout the orphanages and the children's communities, teach them English, teach them life skills, and to be trusted with that role as somebody that is quote unquote so young is something that I don't take lightly, but something that I also know that I've worked really hard for, to be that welcoming force as well and feel like somebody that people can trust. And I also went to the orphanages and the Bali baby home while I was over there too, to donate my time, but also money and products so that they really can create those tangible, actionable steps as well.
No, that's incredible work. That's amazing. I feel the same, and I love that you use that example for what you've been most proud of in your reign. And I'm sure you're going to have so much more impact in the coming few weeks and the rest of your reign because it's not done yet. And I know you're a very hard worker, but I'm the same. It's that connection with people, and especially when you've done volunteering work. I've done lots of volunteering work with different children charities in Australia, but just to be able to link up globally with people and start spreading the word and really helping children in terrible situations is, yeah, that's so lovely to hear. So thank you for sharing that. How do you hope to continue growing your advocacy on the international scale?
Mm. So I'm proud to already have my platform and my advocacy be on an international scale. And I think that is something that I've worked really hard for to bring that international aspect, I guess, before heading to internationals again. Because I guess it shows that I'm somebody that can prove that I can do the work. And that I know that I can be that international queen that will take things globally. But for me, I guess one of my big goals is to hit 2 million views by the end of this year on my platform. It's something that I couldn't even imagine saying like when I started this platform would be like that I wanted to reach 2 million people. But with the way that we've already grown, I really want to start bringing that advocacy more out there past social media. I think social media is such an amazing tool because I am also studying a Bachelor of Communication at university and I'm minoring in social media. So, studying the back end of it, I know the power of it, but I also know that there is so many other great tools out there that we don't use as much these days, such as simply even just the internet, even just Google. So, having a website platform to me and taking that off social media as well is something that I've really tried hard to work at to be different and more accessible to everyday people. But I also want to keep traveling. It's something that is so important to me as a pageant competitor, as a queen, is to make that global impact. And I think that's something that I have always wanted to do was travel. And it's something within my business and within my life that I am so grateful to have the freedom to be able to do that, which most people don't. And so I definitely don't take that for granted. But I am so excited to have so many international trips coming up over the next year. I have already traveled to 7 countries as a Galaxy Queen in the last 18 months. So I'm so excited to continue that. So stay tuned to see where I go. But yeah, I guess creating that international global impact is something that's so important to me. But as you said before, those tangible, actionable steps that's not only just awareness, but how can we bring that to people to really create that change?
And like you said, you've already done the foundational work. You've taken it global already. And I think that's a real, yeah, it's a real showcase of what you bring as a queen. And I think that's what the international queen needs, the overall winner. They need to be able to prove that they've already done the work. You've already done the time, the work, you've gone global. And I can't wait to see, yeah, more countries you go to, how you can impact more people. I'm the same. I feel connected to you more so now because you said you're kind of in the communications field studying. I'm doing my master's in strategic communications right now. And I love what you said about social media and using it to promote such amazing causes and help people instead of oftentimes we hear the negative sides of social media. And I think as queens, especially, it's wonderful to prove how social media can be such an asset and help people globally. So incredible work.
Thank you.
So talking about internationals now, and they're coming up. So you're very soon, hey, you're leaving.
I leave in 6 days. Yeah.
Oh, how
So,
exciting.
yeah.
Okay, so what are you most looking forward to then at internationals?
Well, internationals is held in the Bahamas this year, which is like a crazy, amazing bucket list destination for so many people. I'm so fortunate to actually have already visited the Bahamas once, but I did only go for a few days and it was quite rainy, so I can't wait to be in, I guess, the more summery season. But yeah, I think I have an amazing division of women from all around the world that are all making change in their own right and in their own ways. And I think we look at pageantry sometimes as them being our competitors, but I think it's just a networking kind of session that you can meet so many people. That there's an amazing woman to your right and your left, but you can't forget that you're an amazing woman too and you deserve to be in that room. So I absolutely cannot wait to meet all of my Miss delegates. I feel like I've been chatting to them so much and I know them so much already, so I can't wait to just give them a big squeezy hug.
I was the exact same. I've absolutely loved that. And that's something I really enjoyed about pageantry in the first place was the connections with other women. And I always said it's like a massive sorority kind of sleepover
Yes.
and you have so much fun. But the different perspectives culturally and also the different projects people are doing. And that's why I love the systems, and each one is kind of unique, and Galaxy in particular as well for you and Grand. But it's meeting the other delegates and getting to connect. And I know I've been chatting to some of them online as well, even speaking to some on podcasts, and I can't wait for a big hug too. So we're in the same boat there. What is something you think Australian title holders are different, and what do they bring to the table at internationals, do you feel?
I love this question, and I think there's so many things that different countries bring. And I think I have two answers for this because I think that it's two different kind of sides. But I think we bring really strong work ethic. And I have never really seen an Australian queen that was heading over to internationals not put in the work. And putting in the work to pouring into everybody else, into her projects, into what she wants to do, but also pouring into herself and knowing that she's going to be that really strong mindseted person. But also, I think as Australians, we're so welcoming to everybody. And we have this kind of like warmth and energy about us that we bring real, authentic ourselves onto the international stage that I think some countries might try and hide more, but I think we just embrace it as Aussies and go, we are from our country, we love our country, and that we bring that kind of vibe to the international stage as well.
I agree. That's something I noticed about Australian candidates, and what I've realized and seen as they go international is the bubbly personality. They're always so fun and fresh. And that's something I've been discussing with the other queens as well, as having the pride of going to represent my country and you as well. It's like, what can we bring? But I think it's being authentic and just speaking
Yeah.
as ourselves and showing up. And it is that work ethic I've noticed. And I mean, I noticed that in acting too, that kind of globally we're seen as really hard workers that also have a bit of fun. So it's
Yeah.
lovely to hear that. All right. Well, thank you so much. We're going to move on to our rapid fire questions. This is just a bit of fun. So just answer as you feel. Are
Cool.
you an early riser or a night owl?
Definitely a night owl.
Oh, okay. So you're doing like business things on the laptop at
I
night.
my biggest inspirations and sparks come to me at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and my brain just runs wild. But then that means not much sleep for me because I do have to still get up early to go to work. So it's kind of
Oh no.
puzzle.
I'm the same because I'm a costumer as well. And
Yeah,
oftentimes I have mannequins all around the house. It's kind of
yeah,
creepy. But I sometimes wake up and I've just got an idea and I have to go lay the
weekend.
fabric on a mat. Oh, it's
Yeah.
yeah. So I totally agree with you on that one. What's your go-to comfort food?
Oh, pasta. Definitely pasta.
Any
Yeah.
particular pasta or?
Probably carbonara.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Love that.
Controversial, but love it.
No, each their own. What is one of your biggest pet peeves?
Oh, I think my one of my biggest pet peeves would be like people that walk really slow because I'm always in a rush and I'm always trying to get somewhere. And so I'm a really fast walker, really fast talker. My brain runs a million miles an hour. So sometimes if I'm in a rush and I'm like stuck behind somebody, that does stress me out a bit.
Yeah, I often say I wish they had like lanes, like in running where you're kind of known to stay to the left, or
Mhm.
yeah, I wish we kind of had lanes where it could be like a slow walking lane.
I
So
know, the dream.
I'm the same. I'm the same. I'm like, I gotta get, and sometimes I don't even have anywhere to go. I just like want to
I
walk quick.
know. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get you.
So I know you're a queen and you wouldn't, but if you had the chance to steal something, what would it be?
Ooh. Oh, The first thing that comes to my mind is like a private jet because the literal like, okay, so I love traveling, but I always say that if I were to have a superpower, it would be to teleport. So I feel like it's kind of on the same trajectory that if I just had a private jet and I could get to anywhere that I wanted when I wanted, that would be like the dream.
Yeah, I mean, just being able to sleep and have like a bed or something for
I
all the
know.
international travel you do would be that would be pleasant.
Girl.
So, do you have a favorite song that you listen to?
Oh, maybe not a favorite song, but a favorite artist. I love country music. Most people don't realize that about me. But I'm a big country girl at heart. So anything by like Ella Langley, because I've literally listened to her for so long before she became
Mhm.
big. I feel like I'm an OG.
Okay, I'm not an OG, so I won't claim that, but I am obsessed with her. She's the one that does Choosing Texas, isn't it?
Yes.
Love
Yes.
that song, playing it every day. Do you guys have a thing called honky tonk where you are? No? Okay. So we have this thing in Western Australia. It's gone crazy because I used to not be such a country fan, but now I am. And it's
Yeah.
called honky tonk. And on Wednesdays and I think it's Saturdays, it's line dancing at this
Oh,
bar. And they have bars around WA and you just go in, you literally like just dance the whole night.
my dream. That is my
You
dream.
you have to come here and I'll take you out to honky
Take
tonk.
me
You'll
to a
love
Hong Kong. I would love it.
it. So, do you have a movie that makes you laugh?
That makes me laugh. I'm such a like couples retreat, grown-ups kind of girl.
So good.
Like I love a comedy, but also like a rom-com is like my favorite genre
Mhm.
too. So
So,
like,
have you seen 50 First Dates?
oh yes,
Yeah,
so good.
I was gonna say that would be up your alley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely up my alley. And like Mamma Mia is my favorite movie too. So there's some like parts in there that I can laugh, but I wouldn't say it's the one that makes me laugh the most.
Yes. Yeah. So great. I love Grown Ups. Like some of those moments, you just
So
like you're
good.
crying. It's so funny.
Yes.
So the next question's a little bit weird, but we'll go. What would you wear if you had to wear a Halloween costume every day for the rest of your life?
Oh, I would definitely be like Wonder Woman because I just love like the name Wonder Woman because it just
Mhm.
like encompasses that you could literally do like anything. And so if I had to like be her and be her persona, then yeah, that's what I would choose.
Such a fun costume too, like
Yes.
stunning. And you've got the
Colorful.
hair for it, you've got the look. I
I
love
love
I love that.
it.
The glitter too. We love a bit of
Yes.
glitter. Uh, what is something you first notice about someone? So you see someone, what's something that pops to mind?
Definitely their eyes. I
Mm.
love and I learnt always that I should be an active listener. And I always find that making eye contact with people is one of the best ways to active listen. So anytime, even if they aren't talking to me or I walk past them or I see them, I always look at people's eyes.
That's something I've noticed now, and even in interviews and things like that, when you can connect with people and look at them in the eye, it just, yeah, you feel so much better and you feel like you get to know them more. So I'm a bit the same there with the eyes. And also, some people's eyes are so stunning. Like you see the speckles and the colors, and
Yes.
yeah, agree. What is your favorite way to celebrate a small win? So you've had lots of big wins, you've been crowned, amazing things have happened, but what about the small wins that every day?
Yeah, so I'm a big small wins girl. I'm love goal setting, and so even in a big goal, I will always make myself little small goals and chip away. And I think there's so many things that I do because I just love like I'm such a believer in rewarding yourself too and taking that time for yourself. So it's either taking like a self care day or even just like a self-care afternoon or an hour, whatever I have, kind of time for, but just like playing my favorite movie, playing my favorite song, having a bath, having a face mask, like literally just like relaxing. Or if it's something that I'm like on the go and it's a small win, I'll grab myself a sweet treat because I'm such a big sweet tooth.
Love a good sweet treat. What do you go to? Is it like a donut or a?
Oh, I'm a chocolate girl.
Okay.
Like Like
Anything with
caramel
chocolate.
chocolate is just like, yeah, my fave.
Yum. Gotta hit that caramel slice. I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm very much like I'll go book a massage or I'll do
Yeah.
something for myself. I think the self-care is so much fun and you just feel better and it's like a fun little way to celebrate the small wins as well. Last one.
Yeah.
If you were a movie or book character, who would you be? And you can do movie and book.
Okay. Book character. Oh, have you ever seen? Well, actually, this is a movie and a book. So
Okay.
it recently just came out as a movie. It's called People We Meet on Vacation. And her name is Poppy. Um,
Yes, I
and
love that movie so much.
I loved the movie and I loved the book, and I just loved that they took time out of their year to go on a vacation anywhere around the world. And I think as somebody that travels a lot, but mostly is traveling for work and for a purpose, like a holiday would just
Mhm.
like anywhere around the world and you could just pick and go with your best friend sounds so ideal to me.
And she's so authentic too. Like actually it's funny you say that because I'm always interested what people say because I feel like it gives away a lot of yourself. And I actually agree. Like I feel like you kind of are like that character, so authentic, so bubbly. So I love that for you. And I've got to read the books now. I didn't know it was a
Yeah,
book, but that
really
makes
good.
sense.
Yeah, really good book. But yeah,
Okay. Well,
thank
thank you so much for answering those questions. It was so wonderful to chat to you and just hear the incredible groundwork you're putting in. And it's so close now. I can't wait to see how you go. I know you're just going to crush it. You're amazing with what you do. So good luck and have fun.
thank you so much, Kat, for having me on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Of course. All right. Bye.